It's Deep Space Nine with Jeffrey Combs. It's Deep Space Nine with Jeffrey Combs. Yes. Welcome to the definitive Starship Review series without access to a proper table, and the definitive Starship Review series that records 2.5 minutes of the video and then realizes the camera isn't recording. We're going to be looking at Special 1, comparing Deep Space Nine to XL whatever, Deep Space Nine, which is just off-camera. I'm going to start with the little one. No stand. Only Eaglemoss model to come without a stand at about $50, or more likely $40, because if you're not buying it on a 20% off sale, what are you actually doing with your collection? It's a pretty nice and accurate model of Deep Space Nine. You've got all the coloring on the little upper pylons and lower pylons. You've got yellow all along the top and bottom, along the docking, habitat ring, and the promenade. You've got detailing along the inner ring, the habitat ring with all your windows. No, not with the outer ring, the docking ring. You've just got little bumps. You've got your little docking ports with their sticky out bits. You've got the weapons, I believe they are, the little weapon pylons that stick out, also nicely colored. Ops up there, nicely detailed with the promenade below it. Underneath, you've got your little reactor section, and you can see very nicely windows all the way down. The bottom of the promenade, nicely colored reactor bit on the bottom. You never really see that much in Deep Space Nine. Size-wise, it is approximately the same as the small version of the Enterprise. You can see right there, the issue 1. Another way to look at it is the ring is about the same size as the saucer section of the Enterprise D, going the long way, of course. They're roughly the same. It's not exact, but that is the best I could do. Or, as you're watching Deep Space Nine, this is how it compares to the normal Defiant. And here it is with the big hunk of plastic that is the XL Defiant. So, that's a lovely model, but right over here, we've got the big, chunky Deep Space Nine. I put off purchasing this for a while, because I didn't think the size comparison would really make a difference from the Special to the XL. Boy, was I wrong. If you can see, it's, I can basically do the Deep Space Nine documentary shot with the station in my hands. It barely fits on camera. There are differences between the two models, but let's take a closer look at the XL. For one, you've got gold pylons up here. Not actual gold, like the models they've been releasing, but just kind of a gold coppery paint, which is actually a little less accurate, in my opinion, to the small one. I kind of prefer the coloring on the small. But everything else, I think, works really well. You've got a much darker and more prominent yellow with much more detailing inside of the coloration. You can see right there, just more size equals more detail, especially for something as huge as Deep Space Nine. The center bit, you've got, I'm pretty sure, a bit more detail on these inner pylons. Yeah, it's painted slightly different color, whereas it's more the same color on the small model. You've also got, remember, they're runabout landing pads, I'm pretty sure, for small stuff here, or maybe it was there. I don't quite remember, again, how Deep Space Nine works, but just a little bit bigger, a little more detailed. On the bottom section, you still got all your windows. They're a little more clear. Maybe on the top section, it's not quite as good, although looking at the standard metal, it is pretty messy as well on that top ring. That might just be how it is in the show. On the XL size, maybe it stands out just a little bit more. Very nice windowing along here on the bottom. Reactor bit, same thing, just bigger, more detailed. I love all the windowing on the bottom of Deep Space Nine. And you've got your little suspended bit with your stair railings, as I like to think of them. Your weapons pylons, it's really hard to get the camera focused in there, are the same color as the big struck, so again, not quite as accurate, I don't believe, but, you know, it's not bad, it's just, it doesn't pop out as much. As you can see, even in the background over there, and a bit blurry, the red of the standard model pops out a lot better. The whole promenade operations section up here is also a lot more detailed. I'm sorry, this model's so big, I can hit the camera very easily. You've got all your windows, I believe they're deflector dishes, essentially, going around the promenade. And Ops is a lot more detail. It's very small. This is all of Ops. It's like the very tip of that tower. Focus. And yeah, the size gets you a lot more detail on Ops and the whole central pillar. And at $75 at full price, so only about 25 bucks more expensive, or this price of a normal ship. I'm not really sure why you'd really opt for the standard one over the big one, at that price level at least. The standard one makes a nice small gift, sure, but it's not so much like the ships, where I'll tend to buy the big and the small version of the ships, because I have the XLs displayed separately for a lot more detail, and especially the Enterprises. I've got Enterprise Lineage is my channel banner currently. But the small ships I like because you can get that lineage and you can see them compared to all the other starships of the small scale and the same scale, and it kind of works real nicely. But with Deep Space Nine, I mean, the stations are all quite big. It's really just like you got the big one and you got the older, smaller one. And the big one's just better. You can see size-wise, it's real hard to get on camera, all of these, but, you know, it is a substantial size difference. Even though on paper, it doesn't really sound like much. Trying to reorganize this a bit, you can see that the XL Deep Space Nine is actually about the same length as the XL Enterprise D, full stop. Whereas if you remember, the Standard Edition was the size of the saucer going the long way. It's still not in scale. The Defiant is way too big if you want these models together, but it does look quite nice with the small Defiant and the big station. They do fit pretty well with about the same level of detailing, I'd say. And finally, for your Deep Space Nine comparison, I'd say it's approximately the same size, the station and the XL Defiant. The XL Defiant is a little longer tip to tip. I have a bit of a better view in person. We're just dealing with such big models, it's hard to get on camera. But yeah, it's a very sizable model. One of my biggest. I actually really struggled to find a ship that could compare in size. A lot of the newer stations are bigger, but ship-wise, it was hard to find something that compares. Whereas the standard Deep Space Nine is still rather big because it's essentially a sphere, but it does fit a lot more with the XLs and some of the other special editions size-wise. And of course, the XL Deep Space Nine comes with a very nice and secure stand that would be easier to put the model on if I wasn't behind a camera. There we go. So yeah, all in all, I think these are great models, both of them. I just recommend the XL more. It makes the standard size a bit redundant. If you're a completionist, yeah, you're gonna have both. You probably have both, because this model's way older than this one. But otherwise, the XL, I feel, is just, yeah, it's a great model, and other than the little coloration difference here, I think it's just better. But I've seen plenty of people paint these gold bits red, and the station pops beautifully. I just haven't done that personally. So yeah, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you have any ships you'd like me to review, just let me know in the comments. There's probably about a 50-50 chance I have them. I have a little over half of the collection across all the ranges, and I'll see you next time.